Hello! One of the fastest development segments of portable audio market, of course, are dongle digital to analog converters, dongle DACs or pigtails, adapters, call them whatever you like. Tons of devices are announced basically every month, and Hidizs decided to conquer this market not only by overall share but also by number of products announced. I recently reviewed their S3 Pro, and they released previously a bunch of different digital to analog converters, S8, S9, and now it's time to talk about S9 Pro. And kind of spoiler, they managed to improve over S9. As S9 was improvement over S8, S9 Pro is improvement over S9. Price is $110 plus minus. I will add links to the Hidizs website in the description. As usual, on their site you can get it separately, or you can get it with pretty good bundles with their earphones, cables and other stuff. But let's have a closer look. Package is small with nice polygraphy, looks okay, so nothing super, but everything is done accurately. And on the back side there are technical specifications. The most interesting thing is that they used ES9038. It's mobile version, but it's not 98 version of digital to analog converter, so good, cheap. Supports DSD up to 512, and output power is 100 milliwatts from the single-ended output and up to 200 milliwatts from the balanced out. So in terms of driving power, figures are more than impressive. And inside everything is pretty simple. So here is the digital to analog converter itself. So let me pull it out. As usual, the hardest thing here is not to tear away this stripe. So usually I pull it with force and it's got torn because it's fitting here pretty tightly. And underneath there is warranty card, short manual and a few accessories. So they added USB-C to USB-A adapter. They added short cable to use with players or smartphones with USB Type-C out. Few high-res stickers, and I don't know why, but they added this clip. You can attach this clip to digital to analog converter and clip it somewhere. Not sure if it will find some usage, but as usual with every accessory, I think it's better to have something that you won't use than don't have something that could be pretty useful. In terms of design, it looks pretty cool. Aluminum frame, nice black color, glass panels from back and four sides. I'm not sure is it glass or glass-like plastic, but it looks like glass. It gathers fingerprints pretty actively, but it's easy to wipe. It's the price we're paying for this stylish look. Everything is pretty simple. On the bottom there is a USB Type-C connector. We plug the cable here. Second end we plug to smartphone or other transport, and basically it's working. You need to connect headphones to the top socket, either single-ended or balanced one. And inline control and microphone are not supported here, but it's common for such digital to analog converters, and it will start working. Here is company's logo. It works as a multicolored indicator that changes color based on the signal resolution. It's lightweight, it's stylish, it looks fancy, it can be used with smartphones, with tablets, laptops and other stuff. And for the iOS devices with Lightning you will need a separate cable. You can get it from Hidizs directly. They have a bundle for this digital to analog converter with reduced price for the cable. And it doesn't have its own battery, so it works consuming battery of your smartphone and doing it pretty actively. It basically doubles the battery consumption during music playback, but it's a price we pay for the advanced power and for the better sound quality. General, in terms of design, accessories, build quality and other stuff, digital to analog converter looks great in my opinion. And of course about the sound, I created improvised setup. As a transport I'm using iBus DX300 with UAPP as a player. I always prefer to use UAPP when working with external digital to analog converters, especially with powerful ones like S9 Pro, because UAPP has a hardware volume control necessary for such a powerful device. And I connected S9 Pro, of course, and also I used Noble Audio hand because they were at reach of my hand and they look nice on my table. So in terms of sound, S9 Pro continues the idea of S9 and it's a digital analog converter that focus a little bit on the micro contrast, focus a little bit on small details, sounding a bit on the dry side, but do it more natural and without less monitoring sound comparing with S9. So bass go deep, goes basically to the maximum depth. It's a dry, fast type of bass, pretty punchy with good and fast impact. So it's not the digital analog converter to add additional weight, but it's pretty impactful and it plays nicely with electronic music, like for example Onuka. It's Ukrainian folk electronic project. Yeah, we have we have a lot of such music, not only Go A, but also Onuka and many other bands. So really good, deep, impactful bass line, and combined with different folk instruments, chorus and nice female vocal, it gives a pretty good effect. And thanks to the dry nature of this device, it sounds pretty detailed with a good amount of small nuances. Mid frequencies are also leaning a bit toward the micro detalization, not trying to highlight macro dynamics, but represent what is present in the track pretty nicely, and at the same time good in representing emotions, but only what is present in the track. You get a lot of small nuances, they will be a bit highlighted, but not too much. Comparing with S9, it sounds more organic and more natural thanks to better weight distribution, and also it builds a bit bigger and more spacious stage. And actually staging here is pretty nice, with good sense of three-dimensional positioning. And as an example for the mid frequencies, I've got Ekaterina Velika, ex-Yugoslavian group from ex-Yugoslavia, disbanded a long time ago, unfortunately due to death of many musicians who played there, but they definitely left their mark in the history of the rock music. And Par Godina za nas, it's a really good, I like this whole album. It's fresh and remastered version with a bit different sound comparing with original albums. So true fans of group don't like this remaster, but for me it sounds more modern and better for the modern audience. Interesting guitar work, pretty deep touching lyrics, especially if you know the historical context of creation. And of course guitars, vocal and all that stuff requires good technical resolving mids that this digital to analog converter delivers. And treble, another good part of this player. It has above average extension, a slight focus on the small nuances too, a bit faster attacks and decays, giving a bit lightweight treble, but at the same time it's really detailed, airy and pretty natural. So combine it with a good earphones and you'll get pretty rich and saturated treble representation, plays nicely with many genres. Layering is really basic, but at least it's still present here. And as an example, I've got Whiplash soundtrack and Caravan, basically the main track of this great movie. A lot of different cymbals, percussions and other stuff that this digital tonal converter delivers really nicely. In terms of pairing, as you can easily understand, it can drive almost all headphones with except of high impedance headphones and planar magnetic ones that requires tons of power, but average sensitivity and sensitive headphones not a problem for it. It's pretty good with in-ear monitors, background noise is low and audible only with really sensitive models. And speaking about the comparisons, actually Hidizs simplified my work here a little bit, because their S9 and S9 Pro stands aside from the vast majority of digital tonal converters. It's more on the natural side, more monitoring and sounding a bit drier. So Shenlink will give you more weight and more warmer sound. Same for the iBasso DC series, less warm than Shenlink, but still more highlighting emotions and macrodynamics and less focused on the micro details than this one. Hidizs' own S3 Pro is more fun, more engaging with different accents in sound. And E1DA digital tonal converters, it goes further into the micro detalization and sounds even more drier, but for me that type of dry sound is a bit too much, but it's a matter of preferences here. And comparing with regular S9, this one sounds, as I said, better on the treble and slightly more natural, especially it's noticeable on the mids. So S9 Pro is basically one of the best digital tonal converters I've heard if you prefer a natural monitoring sound with focus on the micro contrast. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.